everyone, and welcome to the TCR Express. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and with me I have Russell Hixson, staff writer for the Journal of Commerce. Russell, you've got a lot on the go. Maybe you could tell us what's going on this week, what you've written.
Well, I still have a bunch of CCA, Canadian Construction Association conference content that's going up on the JOC and the DCN. I had a piece about kind of the global construction perspectives. Sat in on a really great panel from they had major association heads from Australia, the UK, parts of Europe, even the US as well. And it was just fascinating to see they all have, it seems like, the same problems. You know, they're trying to find people to get in construction. They're trying to innovate and trying to deal with all these things, but they all have kind of different government situations. You know, while some parts of the globe have a ton of infrastructure spending to recover from the pandemic, you know, places like the US, they talked about how they don't think that they're going to be able to pass their $2 trillion infrastructure bill because the Republicans are going to block it. And it's just a different political environment. So it's kind of fascinating to see how other parts of the country other parts of the globe rather are faring with kind of very similar problems. So yeah, there's a piece up on that.
I read part of the article. It's interesting that the guy from Australia just said outright, "We have a terrible reputation when it comes to dealing with diversity." I thought it was just good that the association had just outright said that. It was really interesting.
Yeah, he said, I think the quote was, he's like, "We have an appalling reputation with women and other underrepresented groups," and I think a lot of other industries are not industry. A lot of other industries in different places are starting to understand that, like, they've had this strategy, I think, a lot of places of, well, if we just market really well-paying jobs and you get a lot of money in construction. And it's like, well, that's not enough. And I think a lot of places in Canada, a lot of associations, a lot of groups are trying to go beyond that. And it's not just a well-paying, good, stable job. It's also, they want to change the culture. So it's a nice place to work, and it's inclusive, and it's accepting, and it's accommodating of different kinds of lifestyles and people who want to balance, home and life, or sorry, home and work, things. So anyways, that was interesting. And then they also had Mary Van Buren, who's the head of the CCA, sit down with federal employment minister Carla Qualtrough, I think that's how I pronounce it. And she gave a little bit of a hint on the federal budget, and that infrastructure is going to be a major part of it. And she talked about how the way that they're thinking about infrastructure is all around inclusivity and diversity and kind of these progressive ideas. So they don't want to just build stuff. She talked about how they want to build stuff that's going to increase diversity and inclusivity. It's going to help empower underrepresented groups, and it's going to have that kind of language and that kind of goal and thinking to improve society. So it seems like they're thinking that way about how they're going to spend those infrastructure dollars. And so that was kind of a nice little tease about what the federal budget can bring. And then there's something that I haven't written about yet, but I'm hoping to get something on it sometime this week. Simon Fraser University in Burnaby, BC, some of their professors just came out with a paper about geothermal projects and why is there not very many in BC. And they think that it's because of the lack of regulatory framework, and they lay out some strategies that they think that could help tap into that really untapped geothermal market. So I'm hoping to chat with some of the researchers from that. So we'll see how it goes. And it's kind of what I got going on, Warren.
Great. And if you want to listen to previous TCR podcasts, either Express or the Friday podcast, you can listen to us on Amazon Music, on Apple, and on Spotify. And you can also check us out at the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce homepage.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Russell Reports, RUSSELL Reports. And don't forget to follow the Construction Record. What's the Twitter for the Construction Record, Warren?
It's at TCR_cast.
Yeah, and then you can find out what we have coming up and what I'm reporting on and everything. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you on Friday.